What's up gamers, Cryptico here, and welcome back to Lowering the Mark, a show where I analyze the current and former world records of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe time trial runs to see how these records get faster over time. We'll look at elements such as the loadout, racing lines, and mushroom usage to better understand what's bringing these times down. If you haven't already, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit the notification bell to be the first to know when my videos go live. For today's episode, we're finally jumping back to the Banana Cup and reviewing the single worst course from it at its normal speed. Dry Desert at 150cc. On April 29th, 2017, the world record for this run was set at 1 minute 59.459 seconds by the Japanese player Yuta. Fast forward nearly 4 years later to April 25th, 2021, and we see the record now sits at 1 minute 53.624 seconds by the French player Army. That's an impressive 5.8 second improvement between records and a 4.8% faster time. Our former world record holder Yuta has only broken 7 world records on this track only and has spent a grand total of 48 hours holding at least one world record. On the flip side, our current world record holder Army has broken over 430 world records across 58 unique runs and has spent nearly 1,300 days holding at least one of his now 28 current world records, the second most in the game by any one player. At pre-release, the world record for this run was a bit over 2:03, and within the first 2 days, it had already subbed under 2 minutes, mostly thanks to Davi and Alex. For a while, Davi continued to bring the record down further and further, and by the end of August of 2017, it was down to 156.8. 40 days later, Stark's LX dethroned Davi and ushered in a new wave of players including Lation and Super Effects, the latter of which brought the record well below 156 before the former took over and dropped 0.8 of a second off that time over the next 12 consecutive world records. Once Lation got the coveted 154.9, he'd step away and watch his record last for nearly 650 days. Now, at the beginning of 2020, Alberto introduced babies into the mix and took over 0.3 of a second off the record and continued to compete with Army as the new meta brought the time all the way down to 153.6. In total, the record was broken 82 times by 17 different players. These loadouts depict with absolute precision what a world record looked like in 2017 versus 2020. Yuta goes with the dated combo of Dry Bowser driving the Streetle cart with the roller wheels and the Hylian kite glider. Army goes with the not so dated combo of Baby Daisy driving the Biddy Buggy with the much better Azier rollers and the paper glider. Looking at these stats side by side, and we see some familiar developments. Yuta leads significantly in top speed while Panda runs away with better acceleration, handling, grip, and mini turbo stats. Contrary to the previous episode, Dry Desert is a very turn-heavy course, which means a lot of mini-turbos. Panda's higher stat there, paired with the way better handling, will enable him to snake through this boring-ass course like you've never seen before. Like I said 2 seconds ago, this is a boring-ass course. The layout itself isn't terrible, but the desert theme and yellow color palette is just not fun for Mario Kart. That and drifting on dirt is without a doubt the single worst thing to experience in this game. At 200cc, I suppose it's better because the race is over quicker, but that's for a future episode. For now, let's dive deeper into this race. Yuta hits a rocket start out of the gate and bears slightly right before starting this long drift for 3 coins and the Super Mini Turbo. After that, he'll chain 3 normal Mini Turbos through this winding road before ending this section with this long Ultra Mini Turbo around the next long turn. Army also hits the rocket start, but immediately chains these 4 normal mini turbos before the first turn. At that point, he'll also go for the 3 coins and Super Mini Turbo around that turn, after which he'll chain 2 normal mini turbos to that, as well as this no item shortcut for that jump boost off the pillar. After another quick mini turbo, he hits this next turn on a very tight line for the Ultra Mini Turbo and bears left to close out S1. Remember when I said something about sneaking through the course? Well, S1 for Army was exactly what I was talking about. All those mini turbos paired with that jump boost helped him amass an already insurmountable lead of 1.2 seconds going into S2. Yuta heads to the right and grabs these 4 coins and the long mini turbo before chaining an even longer Super Mini Turbo through those 3 coins. After that, he'll start charging up another Super Mini Turbo through the back half of that turn that he'll release in S3. Army grabs this quick mini turbo before drifting around the left side for these 4 coins and the Super Mini Turbo. After chaining a normal one, he too grabs those 3 coins and Super Mini Turbo before charging up another one all the way to the end of this section. Both players took similar approaches, with the main difference being that Army went left while Yuta went right. The mini turbo arrangements were comparable as well, but since Army is rocking with that max mini turbo stat, his longer lasting mini turbos helped build his lead even further through S2. He's up on Yuta now by over 1.5 seconds going into S3. Yuta grabs that super mini turbo as he enters the water and just rides out the boost straight onto this grass mound for one jump boost at the end. Around the final turn, he'll start drifting and use his first mushroom to cut through this dirt patch for the super mini turbo as he closes out lap 1. Army also gets the super mini turbo, but after that, he fits in this quick mini turbo before tricking twice off the front and back of this grass mound before going for that same shortcut with a slight difference. He'll grab that quick mini turbo, hop forward, then use his mushroom to chain another mini turbo through the dirt. After that, he'll chain 2 more mini turbos before closing out the lap. Another very similar section from both racers, only this time, Army got more jump boosts as well as longer lasting mini turbos. The shortcut itself was also slightly more optimized in Panda's favor, and his lead benefited from that as he now sits 2 seconds ahead of Yuta after 1 lap. Into lap 2, Yuta stays on a very strict line up until the first turn, which he takes tighter due to there being no coins to collect. After grabbing the super mini turbo, he chains the same 3 mini turbos after that through the winding road on his way to the tighter ultra mini turbo around the next long turn. Army squeezes in these 2 normal mini turbos down the straight before chaining a super and normal mini turbo around the first turn. 2 more mini turbos later, and we see that same Nisk from lap 1 for the quick jump boost. After another quick mini turbo, Army grabs the super, then normal mini turbo around this long turn to close out S1. Other than taking those long turns on a tighter line, both racers stick to their lap 1 approach through this section. I should point out that the main time save for Army was that no item shortcut through the winding section. It doesn't look like the largest time save, but it is the main reason Army's lead ballooned to nearly 2.9 seconds at the end of S1. Yuta bears right and dips into the pit for a quick mini turbo before coming out of that for the long drift around the next turn for another mini turbo. After that, he goes inside for this long super mini turbo that he'll release in S3, same as before. Let's just take a minute to admire this 6 mini turbo drift chain from Army as he makes his way through the pit and to the pillar. Breathtaking. After that jump boost, he'll grab this quick super mini turbo just before entering the water into S3. Army's ability to stay on such an optimal line out of the turn, through the pit, and up to the pillar is insanely impressive, and is a huge part of why his lead jumped up to 3.4 seconds at the end of S2. Fresh off that super mini turbo, Yuta realigns to drive on top of this grass mound and grab the jump boost at the end. After which, he'll charge up this super mini turbo through the off-road with the assist of that mushroom and rides out the boost on that strict line to close out lap 2. Army chains those same 2 mini turbos before double tricking off the grass mound. Now back underwater, he'll charge up this mini turbo, hop after it, then use his mushroom to make the shortcut and then chain 3 more mini turbos after to close out the lap. Now through 2 laps, we've seen that Army's world record was built on the backs of snaking through 90% of the track, better shortcuts, and slightly better racing lines all throughout. As easy as it looks to snake drift whenever you want, it takes a certain level of skill to be able to snake on a line that keeps you on world record pace, and Army is the prime example of that strat. He's up on Yuta by over 3.7 seconds after outsplitting his lap by over 1.8 seconds. Yuta's final lap goes a little something like this. Around the first turn, we see that tight super mini turbo followed by the 3 mini turbo chain through the winding path. After that, we see this long ultra mini turbo around the next turn followed by the quick mini turbos in and out of the pit. After which, we see another long super mini turbo into S3 and quick realignment for the grass mound jump boost. To close out the lap, Yuta drifts one last time up to this off-road and uses his final mushroom to make the cut and grab the super mini turbo. After that, he'll get this quick jump boost as he comes across the finish line. Army grabs those same 2 quick mini turbos but squeezes in this low trick before grabbing a super mini turbo around the first turn. After chaining 2 more mini turbos, he'll go for that same no item shortcut for the jump boost. Army then grabs this quick mini turbo before grabbing a super one around the next long turn, and then starts his 6 mini turbo chain through the pit and up to the fallen pillar. After backflipping for the jump boost, he grabs that same super mini turbo into the water and chains 2 more mini turbos before double tricking off the grass mound yet again. To close out the race, we see that same mini turbo before the mushroom for the shortcut followed by 2 more mini turbos, the later of which is paired with another jump boost, and that marks the end of the race. Army's final time would end up being over 5.8 seconds faster than Yuta's former world record. So by grabbing the single most mini turbos by any one player in any episode of Lowering the Mark, going 3 for 3 on that no item shortcut, and optimizing the mushroom cut a little bit more, Army was able to take a whole 0.3 of a second off his initial 153 second break. As boring as this course is, I can recognize how much skill it takes to pull off a run like that. Army is no stranger to baby courses and has always displayed incredible skill on these types of tracks. Only question left is, are there any more tenths that can be taken off the record? The best known splits for this run show that there are at least 0.2 of a second that can be knocked off this world record. Army is the sole owner of all 3 splits, and 2 of which are really close to his own world record laps. The majority of the time that can be saved is on lap 1, while laps 2 and 3 only have around 6 frames that can be knocked off all told. To put it simply, one just needs to open and close the race a little faster in order to get to that 0.5, 0.4, or even best known sometime of 0.3. Question is, who's going to step up and do so? The worldwide top 10 consists of 7 national and 4 continental record holders. Army sits at the top, over 0.3 back, with the only other 153 in the world is Braden, and Oceanic record holder Panda rounds out the top 3. At the 4 and 5 spots, separated by less than 1/10 of a second, is Alberto and Japanese player Nei Toru. Further down the board, we see Crack, Almond, Kibo, Mana, and in a tie for 10th place, we have Alpaco and Zeline. With the separation that Army has over Braden down there in second, paired with the fact that this is nearly a 500-day world record already, it's safe to wager that this time from Army is incredibly strong, and the only way it will get faster is if he, and he alone, steps up and gets the job done. That's the end of episode 84. Hopefully I was able to make this very boring track seem cool for a few minutes. If you did enjoy this video, like and share it with your friends, and comment on which course you'd like me to analyze next. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.